Good morning. It's me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Tarot. And we are here to look at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies inside of ourselves. Understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment, in our ability to manifest the things that we desire. And if we want to see changes in those areas, we really do have to shift the energy inside of self first. It's that old chestnut. Just, loving yourself and, that message. Okay. It's Friday, which means today we're looking at releasing from the feminine side and rebuilding on in our masculine energy. The obstacles that we were looking at on Wednesday included for the feminine an inability to truly be happy without partnership and really not being able to be happy in her own solo energy and having to release that tendency. And for the masculine side of self, the obstacle was actually ending separation, recovering from that pain and heartbreak and loss, and releasing lack mentality. It was really difficult for him to be able to move forward. So that was the two sides of self. So today we're going to help release those obstacles for both sides using the power of the divine feminine energy, and then we will rebuild for both sides using the power of the masculine energy. Okay, let's tap into the feminine for the release portion. This is called the Empress Spread, and I'm going to be making these available so that you can use them for your own readings. All right, so first we're going to take a look at the general energy surrounding the obstacle that divine feminine is releasing. We are getting in the headspace in the Star Spinner Tarot. We are getting the 10 of Wands in reverse. And in the heart space from the Muse Tarot, we're getting the 5 of Emotions or the 5 of Cups upright. So this is the general energy surrounding divine feminine's obstacle. So we see her here with this feeling that she has been really burdened with the nurturing and caring for this relationship. That it has really relied on her optimism in the face of this icy cold reception that she receives from the masculine energy. And this 5 of Cups is making me think of the 5 of Pentacles, because the 5 of Pentacles shows an image of these people that are clearly in need outside in the cold when there's a warm sanctuary inside. And it's like in this 5 of Cups from the Muse Tarot, we're seeing the emotional aspects of that lack. And the 5 of Cups in typical imagery is about looking at the spilled cups before you, being very sad about them, but having 2 cups behind you that are I lost my train of thought, that are in the future, like that are still there, and sometimes you're aware of them and sometimes you're not, etc. So in this image, though, we just see divine feminine outside in the cold, clutching her world to her heart. And there's this water. First of all, she's crying. There's tears, but she also looks very strong. It's the moon that she's clutching to her heart, to truly the divine feminine. It's a lot of watery energy, a lot of emotion, a lot of sadness. And then the 10 of Wands in reverse, that about being so burdened with this grief, with the sadness of being, there's such an ache here. So releasing this aching feeling of lack in regards to love in particular, in regards to this feeling of over-giving and over-nurturing, and yet being still iced out, which is just such a difficult feeling for the feminine. I'm really tapping into the depths of that emotion. It's a very heart achy feeling. So really needing to release this, that when she is alone, when she's on her own in her feminine, that it is this icy place that is without much joy. There's maybe depression that's needing to be released, or fear of that being on her own, being over this caring and overgiving of reciprocating. So this is what it's a lot of heavy energy there, feminine. Your hidden is the Eight of Swords upright in the head space, and the world in reverse, or the cosmos in reverse in the heart space. So for me, this is about maintaining really healthy boundaries. Now, because we're looking at this card as assistance, we have to look at the light of this card, which is that you are protecting yourself until such a time as you're prepared to face the Nine of Swords, which is all those fears and anxieties, and overcome them. So at this point in time in her heart space, there is this sense that the cycle is not yet complete. So she, during this time, while she has to await the ending or the completion of this cycle, she needs to go within and just kind of focus inward and protect herself until she is fully healed to be able to achieve what it is that she desires. So it would be good to have healthy boundaries at this time. If there is an individual specifically that is not reciprocating, or if there is some kind of opportunity or something that the divine feminine has been seeking and she's not seeing any return for her investment, it would be good to just maintain healthy boundaries right now and protect yourself as you do the healing that will allow you to move beyond this state into a state where you can rebuild and achieve what it is you're looking to achieve. What past experience do I need to release? So interesting. In the head space, we're getting the Devil. And in the heart space, we are getting the Page of Inspiration, or the Page of Wands in reverse from the Muse Tarot. So look at the colors united in these two decks. Not necessarily always guaranteed to happen, but you know what? Happening a lot today. So very interesting. I have so many decks to choose from, and getting to see the different images and pulling those, making those connections between the colors so we know that they're related to each other and how they're interplaying. It's a benefit to having a lot of decks. If you'd like to send me any other decks, in the description box, there is a wish list from Amazon with different decks I'm calling in. And I always appreciate them, and it helps me change up our imagery here. But the past experience that divine feminine needs to release is this obsessive addiction type of energy, codependency, bondage, being chained. We're seeing in this particular deck, we get the true Lucifer here, the light bringer, the fallen angel aspect, which, I feel like everybody always has compassion for, and that's the gift that Lucifer has in seduction, right? Making it seem pretty good idea, to give him a pass because he's the deceiver. He makes you feel like you can't blame him, really, right? That's his gift. Silver-tongued. And then we have this Page of Inspiration. We have this feminine energy. Her hair is blowing. All these colors are here. There's this full spectrum. There's black cats here, which traditionally represent sexuality, Venus. They are it's independent energy. And a page energy is usually a mature energy, or an immature energy, rather. It's an energy that is maturing. This is usually excitement, inspiration, new ideas, etc. But we're seeing here, associated with the devil card, pulling that imagery in with those black cats, thinking about sexuality. Divine Feminine needs to release her obsessive focus on the lack of communication from Divine Masculine energy. That's the first thing. From her fixation on whether or not he's engaging in immature behaviors like that. Her own tendency towards being immature in regards to her sexual energy. And there also could be just a past experience of this particular divine masculine breadcrumbing or constantly making these little communicative gestures that keep her linked or hooked. And she's constantly communicating this way as well. And this has given her this feeling of being overburdened, where she's constantly pouring into a situation that's not bringing her any light. Like she's giving all of her light to this obsession, and there's nothing left here. She's standing here in the cold at the end of the day. So that is going on for her. Okay. We have, what can I do right now to soothe myself? Okay. We are getting the Four of Cups in reverse, and we are getting the Muse of Voices, or the King of Swords energy. But from the Muse Tarot, we get these very abstracted, what do I want to say? They're evocative images when we see them. They're not necessarily figurative, but we have like an association that we get from just the images on the cards themselves. The Four of Cups in reverse is about just sitting there and fantasizing, and in this case, there aren't any cups. We don't see any cups around the feminine, so that's kind of interesting. Instead, we're actually seeing like the contents of her cups here. This house up on the hill, this living by the ocean, maybe. It's like these dreams. It's all in the dream space because that moon is here. It's escapism. And the King of Swords energy is an extraordinarily countering energy to that fantasy. It's being really clear, really direct, really focused, having a plans, having a strategy, being in the headspace, being detached emotionally, because you have conquered your emotions. And so if we're looking at soothing ourselves right now, this is sort of the universe saying, listen, release your fantasies, because your fantasies are a double-edged sword. They're the dreams of what you want to happen, but because of your doubt about them, your inability, you're not able to see clearly this outcome you desire, because you feed your fantasies with fear from these past experiences that you're protecting yourself from. So you need to be more strategic, more practical, and conquer your emotions. Conquer your fantasy right now. Your fantasy of what you want, combined with your fantasy of your fears about how it might not happen, is keeping you in this cold right now. And you're fantasizing about what this King of Swords is doing because he's completely silent. Letting that fantasy go. Stop imagining what this person is thinking or doing, and start focusing on what they are actually saying to you directly. And if they're not saying anything to you directly, then stop focusing on them obsessively. And stop saying things to them as well if you have been communicating, in order to soothe yourself right now from this experience. Okay, next up. What can I expect to encounter as I make space for new energy? We are getting the Hierophant in reverse, and we are getting the Seven of Voices, or the Seven of Swords upright in the heart space. So we can expect a release of limiting beliefs or any rigid, authoritative, traditional beliefs that have been keeping us thinking, like someone once told me that all men cheat. A man who was cheating at the time told me that all men cheat. And I didn't believe that, but that has always stayed in my mind. So I have this limiting belief about that. And that's really what these two cards are, because this is a marriage card. It was in its reverse, and this is the card associated with cheating. But the position of this is, what can I expect to make room for, make space for, as I release this burden? What can I expect to make space for? And it's like releasing this belief that this person, this outside energy, is cheating, is hiding, is wearing a mask in regards to a past relationship or a marriage or something like that. You can expect to release confining belief that you have about that foxy, clever energy, about being cheated on or about betrayed. That is what you can expect to release as you make room for the new energy. Okay. Next up, what behaviors have gotten in my way? Ooh, we are getting Strength in reverse in the headspace, and the Six of Cups in the heart space. So the eternal connection, past life connection, twin flame story might have gotten in your way. There might be that, because you might have been accepting abusive behavior from somebody that you had labeled an eternal connection. So there could be some that could apply to some. For others, it is our ego. Our ego's fixation on the past, because the past feels comfortable and familiar to us. It's also about holding on to a grudge. So if you feel that if you were betrayed in the past, then you are holding a grudge about what has gone on, what has happened. You're letting that beast inside of you, your jealousy or your just your butt sore feelings dictate your actions in regards to this energy that you do seek a reunion with. So basically, you've been holding a grudge, and this behavior doesn't help you at all achieve what it is that you desire, which is reunion. So you're like, what's blocking me? And the universe is saying, well, you're feeling that you can't be happy without partnership. And you have to release the sadness associated with the burden of having given to somebody, because you are doing that in order to receive something, not because you are truly doing it from a place of unconditional love. Because this is when you We're in your devil energy for this person. This is the past experience. So you holding on to grudges about their behavior, you letting your ego dictate your feelings about how you interact with them. This is what brings you sadness. This is what brings you the sense of being overburdened because of your lack of compassion, understanding, and information. The fact that you have no information is not your fault, but the fact that your ego demands this information in order to justify the experience, right? The ego is constantly trying to justify and protect itself. That is blocking you. You have to release that in order to move on into union. What can I do now to avoid this? Wow. Queen, right? Yes. Queen of Swords in reverse in the headspace, and the Tower in reverse in the heart space. So you can stop being defensive if you're actually blocking the masculine energy in social media or something like that, or energetically. You can release this tendency to block this energy after a Tower moment, or because the Tower is not being initiated. So I see here, when divine masculine doesn't come in to reunite with you or bring apologies or bring you justice, you feel overburdened by being this one who's constantly giving and nurturing to the relationship. It makes you feel extremely sad. You're focused on his past behavior, which is why you're feeling sad, because you're thinking, oh, the reason that I'm not hearing or seeing anything from this King of Swords is because he's engaging in the behavior that he's always engaged in the past, which all men engage in. But that's because you're still not forgiving this masculine for this transgression. The transgression is actually a lack of information. The Seven of Swords is not knowing. It's like hidden things. So your grudge is that you don't know. And because you don't know, you impose these negative thoughts. So you need to stop overthinking the rebuilding of the connection. It is not your job to rebuild this connection, Divine Feminine. I love you. But it is not your job to rebuild the connection. The feminine's job right now is to achieve emotional stability so that her lack of reactivity will bring about a flow of a lot of peace and abundance in her life in general, which will free her from the burden of codependency, because she will not feel that another energy is bringing her this, because this is what she is freeing herself. Once she no longer feels like that person is responsible for her happiness, or partnership itself is responsible for her happiness, and can embrace her own Ten of Cups without this sense that this other iteration is somehow going to affect that Ten of Cups in either direction, then she's ready for that energy to come to her. For as long as she feels incomplete without partnership, she will react defensively and in an overprotective, in a conniving, in an emotionally manipulative way to try to get this tower rebuilt, because she feels that her life depends upon that tower. But if your life depends upon the rebuilding of a tower that you are not releasing, I feel you're going to have a very exhausting life until you release that attachment to the promise of that tower. What is growing within me or within the connection as I move on? So the Empress Spread is about gestating something. So in this process of releasing, it's painful, right? Bringing a child into the world is painful. So this is this painful experience. but what you are releasing, what you're growing within you, and what you're actually going to be giving birth to is this magician energy in the headspace in reverse and the ace of emotions in the heart space in reverse. You are releasing the power that someone has over you and over your feeling and sense of self-love and worthiness. As you release these false stories about the specific iteration that you're focused on and about the masculine energy in general, like all men cheat, for instance. As you release those stories, as you embrace your power and get clarity and focus and command, right? We had King and Queen of Swords in these readings. You release the manipulation that comes from a masculine energy outside of self. You receive love from the divine. And that is the only love that you really need. And you do finally release that power that that masculine energy has over you to prevent you from feeling fully in this bliss of self-love. And that feeling of powerlessness you have right now, that goes away. And you can accomplish anything you desire. All right, let's rebuild now with the masculine side of self. We are looking at the top of the deck for the head space and the heart space. I just did a TikTok reading this morning. Pearl's Prayers is my TikTok if you're interested in following me over there. And I primarily am doing just divine masculine messages over there, 3-minute messages. And the top of the deck from the headspace in the message today was this card. And it's still here. And I shuffled all these cards. So top of the deck is the Page of Wands in reverse. And yes, we already did see that as the past experience the divine feminine needs to release. And we're seeing the Three of Swords in reverse as well. So this is what we are rebuilding from, okay? Divine masculine has embraced the wounds he has caused through third-party entanglements that he has had a very difficult time extracting himself from. These entanglements came from his immature energy, which usually with this page energy is sexual, and there is the same kind of strong feeling of that coming from this card over here. We're also seeing those foxes that divine feminine is so afraid of, and we understand that her experience she needs to release is literally this experience right here. Okay, so we know that this is what is being released, and we need to rebuild. Now, how do we rebuild from this place where divine feminine has to release these limiting beliefs about all men cheating, or however masculine energy cheating, however that plays out for you? The hidden assistance is fascinating because it's part of the block. So the obstacle on Wednesday for the masculine was the 10 of Swords in reverse in the head space and the 5 of Pentacles in reverse in the heart space. And today we're seeing his hidden assistance is the 4 of Swords in reverse in the head space, but the 5 of Pentacles that was his obstacle is actually his hidden assistance right now, which is fascinating. So to see the 4 of Swords in reverse can be about resisting grief, but in this case, we're seeing it about completely awakening and full expression. The 5 of Pentacles in reverse is about releasing lack mentality, no longer believing that you have to be outside in the cold or leave someone else outside in the cold. So we see his hidden assistance is his He has gathered and collected his thoughts as he has been resting, and he is ready to fully express his desire to bring the feminine energy, that emotional, heart-centered energy, out from the cold. What past experience challenges me in the rebuilding process? Wow. The star was the niggling thing in the back of the mind in my TikTok reading. So please go see that reading if you want to see what Divine Masculine has to say about those two cards. Here it is. This was the underlying concern in his headspace in the reading today, and it is the thing that challenges him, this past experience that challenges him in the rebuilding process. And here we have the Nine of Swords, which is not a happy card from the Wild Unknown Tarot. This is from the Tattoo Tarot, by the way. So Divine Masculine could have received two versions of this card. He got the earlier version. And so for me, this is definitely about this past life connection energy. This is the original Divine Feminine energy. This is not one that he has wanted to release. It is one he has held on to for a long time. She is his star. She has done all of this healing. She has taught him about all of this healing. He's connecting her with his destiny. His hopes about her are infinite. And then we have the Nine of Swords. So what's challenging him is his fear of revealing this connection. Because when this connection is revealed, everyone will know that Divine Feminine has been there all along, which means for Divine Masculine's reputation, what he is revealing, he has the potential to be torn apart for. And so he's afraid of that. And so it's really challenging him. His fears about revealing this feminine side of self are really, really, really challenging him at this time. All right. I think this is about confidence. Yes. What can I do right now to build my confidence? This is the Three of Cups upright from the same deck that has two versions of 6 of the cards. It has 2 star cards and it has 2 Three of Cups cards, among others. And this is the first one. Okay. And then we are getting the Lover's card in reverse. This can be about releasing a third-party energy that Divine Masculine was holding on to. It can also be about coming into union with his original Divine Feminine and releasing any other third-party energy in the future. Or not in the future, but any third-party energy that would block him from coming into union. But there's definitely something here to build his confidence. This is also about playing, being more playful, taking things less seriously, being a little bit more lighthearted. So I think that is also there to build his confidence. Like, you're bringing in union, buddy. You're bringing in the manifestation of your desires, and you're relinquishing any of the, past relationships that don't serve you. So this is actually something to really celebrate and not be afraid to express. Like, yeah, you're going to have to tell Divine Feminine about third-party energy. She knows already, though, okay? She knows. So that will help build the confidence. What possible future challenges could arise? Go watch the TikTok reading. That's all I'm saying. But okay. We have got the Nine of Swords, which we already got. This is a very anxious, nervous Divine Masculine who's very frightened right now. Just saying. Okay. The Nine of Swords and the Sun. What did we say was the past experience that challenged him. It was his fear, right, about revealing feminine energy. What could challenge him in the future? His fear of losing his potential happiness that is here present for him. But this is also a card about illumination and fully being fully enlightened and fully revealing the masculine aspect of self. I can't make this shit up. So what could challenge him in the future is what has challenged him before in the past. That he would be afraid that he can't have this happiness. He's afraid also to show others. There might be shame about what he's happy for or about, or that others don't get to have that. Let that go. What past behaviors have destabilized me? This reading is I'm dead. The Knight of Pentacles upright, and the Four of Swords upright in the heart space, and we already got the Four of Swords in reverse, which was the hidden assistance. So what was the past behaviors that have destabilized him? What's funny is this is the most stable knight in the deck. But what is his problem? He moves too slowly and too methodically. Why? Because his ass is terrified is why. Because he's scared as fuck. Why would this behavior be problematic? This is faith and trust and rest and prayer and healing. It's also grief and silence. So what has destabilized him has been not moving at all and not expressing or having a solid, reliable thing to offer and having to move very slowly, but not communicating to the feminine why or giving her any clear information about it. This is what has destabilized him. What's really funny is these are two very stable cards. 4 is an incredibly stable number, and this is the solid, stable, and reliable offer. But it's destabilized you because this has been about making your own nervousness and fears and anxieties go away by not talking about how long it's going to take for you to come, because you know that you can't hold somebody for that long. So this might have made you feel better and you feel stable and you feel certain and sure. But the lack of information for the feminine side of self, the lack of communication, means that she feels completely unstable, right? Oops. All right. So what can I do now to avoid this and stabilize? King of Pentacles upright, and the Daughter of Swords upright from the Wild Unknown Tarot, which uses owls. I just saw this owl video today, so this is very poignant to me. There's wisdom here. The page energy that comes from this Daughter of Swords is about being brave enough to wield the truth and communicate, even though you're uncertain of exactly what to say or how to go about saying it. You don't have a strategy yet. You're just following modeled behavior by a knight who's above you you are learning from, but you are not yet quite capable. But you're willing to do this. You're willing to bravely show up. This King of Pentacles is about showing up in the 3D with your offer. What will stabilize you right now is, even though you're very afraid, because this is Harry Potter behind the gravestone in the 4th book, when he has to face off Voldemort and he's got a wand and only like a handful of spells, and he just doesn't want to die. Like, cowering. He wants to go out with a fight. He wants to go out bravely. He faces his fears and he just fights. So this will stabilize you. Bringing in this offer, facing your fear, being brave. What future prospects do I have to look forward to once I rebuild and stabilize? Shut up. In the headspace, we have the Queen of Cups upright. And in the heart space, we have the 10 of Cups in reverse. And we're like almost there, aren't we, Divine Masculine? But there's a reason why those 10 of Cups are in reverse. It's not a bad reason. Queen of Cups is incredibly emotionally stable. She can navigate all of her emotions. She can feel them. She can cry and she can laugh and she can sigh and she can have all of these feelings. And they don't push her in any kind of direction. She remains stable in this energy. The 10 of Cups in reverse, normally the 10 of Cups upright is about bliss. It's about everything we've hoped for. It's our spiritual fulfillment. To see it in its reverse is like an overwhelmment. So what I'm looking at here is that Divine Masculine will be able to handle the overwhelmment of all of his happiness. This is occurring right below his fear that he can't handle his happiness. And the universe is like, oh, no. You're going to have all of these cups pouring out, so much that anyone would be overwhelmed, but you will not be. You will also have a Divine Feminine who is not overwhelmed either, because you are both stable in this feminine energy, right? It's a mastery, emotional mastery of handling your bliss fulfillment. That's what you can have to look forward to if you can stabilize this energy and come forward bravely and make an offer to the Divine Feminine. Your offer will be well received. It will not be something she can't handle, even if it has with it. It's, of course, the full spectrum, right? It's all the colors. So it's not necessarily just going to be all hunky-dory. But she can handle it. And so can you. Not a bad outcome overall. A little rough around the edges. Let's go to the oracles and help you complete this releasing and rebuilding. It's a lonely reading today, but I don't mind. All right. I don't know why I was doing that. I normally don't do that. Okay. The archetype for Divine Feminine. You are in the shadow attributes right now, my dearest one, of the Queen energy. This says, becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. So Divine Feminine, you might have stepped into some controlling and demanding energy. You might have started to feel some type of way about the silence and about the lack of communication and about the strategizing, the cleverness, the sadness, the being left out in the cold and the iciness. And so you just kind of like a little bit sort of like demanding attention, demanding communication, demanding explanations. You need to radiate the regal feminine and use your benevolent authority to protect others. But come into the light of this Queen energy, come into the light of this mastery so that you can match Divine Masculine's energy over here. Right? This is where you want to end up with him, in that emotional mastery. No emotional manipulation allowed. Saint Padre Pio is here to help you with this healing energy. This is an emphasis on this healing energy. We saw that your hidden assistance is kind of allowing yourself. We see this card as this is Eight of Swords. We see it as a self-sabotage card a lot in the community. But if we reframe this card, because this is in the assistance position, and we reframe sabotage as what it actually is, which is a self-protection to help you work on any of the wounds that you will find within that are showing you what needs to be healed so that you can move on to do what it is that you want to do in the world. So Padre Pio is there to help you shine this light and fill this Ace of Cups that you're learning will no longer be necessary for you to receive this from anyone except from your connection with the divine alone. So you're working on that healing process right now. Your guardian angel is here to tell you to wake up. You might have been having trouble sleeping. It could also be about giving you some help if you've been having trouble sleeping. But I feel it's actually, you might have been sleeping a little bit too much lately in some ways. Like maybe you are literally sleeping a lot, which, is good to do when you're sad, honestly. But there's also a point where you have to start waking up and getting up and doing the things you need to do. Now, it could also be that you were sleeping on the job, like you're not paying much attention at your work or to your work, or you're sleeping on the job in regards to taking care of your body. So there is just a calling here to wake up, be refreshed. I've been doing a 1 minute stretch challenge, literally just 1 minute, just to get myself in the habit of doing some kind of movement before I sit down to do my readings in the morning, because I have a tendency to just go to work and ignore my body. And I'm going to get a puppy. I'm going to need to be walking him soon. And I need to have balance in regards to movement in my life. And so just even 1 minute of getting myself to commit to that was a challenge. And I did it. I'm on day 5 or something. I have 2 more days left. And then I want to up the ante. But that you need to wake up and start taking care of yourself and start taking care of your shit and stop sleeping on the job in that way. The more energy and intention I bring to my faith, the more fearless and free I am. So there's that hummingbird energy and that me saying get up, do what you need to do. The more energy you bring to it, the more the fearless you'll be. When I was working much harder than I've been working, I work hard. I'm very hard on myself. I do work hard. I have been doing, in my mind, a bare minimum amount of work. But seeing as I only take 1 day off a week, that's probably still a lot of work. But I am not I'm not at full capacity by any means. I have been super depressed and also in denial about it with myself. But just it's fine. Everything's fine. Things are fine. But not talking to anybody. So the more I am fired up and working on my stuff, the more fearless I feel, the more possibility and potential I feel. That's just so obvious, Joy is the ultimate creator. I think you're afraid that drudgery is the ultimate creator. It's that unemployment money is drying up and you're starting to think oh, I guess in order to create wealth, I need to go do this drudgery every day, again. No, you need to go deeper into your joy. I keep reminding myself that I'm watching the Marvel movies, superhero movies, fun action movies, playful things that make me think about it's something I would do with my family and my son, just really fun things. Trying to, even in this depression, do things that are funny and joyful and I can't look away from Robert Downey Jr. I'm not going to lie. Oh, he's such an asshole. Why? Why do we like assholes? Okay. Dreams. Divine Feminine. You already got your 4 of Cups today somewhere. Didn't you? Yes, you did. Ugh. I don't know which one it's under. Which one? Oh, here it is. There. See? Look at the color coordination. You are living very much in your dream space. You might be receiving messages from dreams, Divine Feminine. I have a sense that there is that in that sleep card in reverse. There are important messages coming through your dreams, but you're not following through with the messages. You're just kind of letting them linger there. And you're not sort of maybe you were journaling before, maybe you were doing some subconscious work before and you've kind of dropped the ball on that a little bit and you're being called to do that again. That's coming out with talent. So dreams and talent. So you, Divine Feminine. Oh, wow. Okay. Joy is the ultimate creator, coming out in reverse with dreams and talent. Divine Feminine, you're afraid You're a little bit afraid that this isn't true. You're a little bit afraid that your talent doesn't matter, and that you've just had these dreams about being this star. She was in the reading yesterday. That same ballerina energy was present in the reading I did yesterday. But you have a fear here that this is not true, that the joy that you have from the talents that you have don't create what you need, don't create abundance, don't create stability. And the divine is trying to reassure you right now that this is the only thing that will create stability and abundance, is your dreams and your talents, your gifts. A new start is coming, Divine Feminine. Just trust in your dreams. Continue to develop your talents and share your talents with others. Be joyful and trust in that new start coming. Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? And you're getting Mintaken again, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. Now that card keeps coming out for me to remind you that the longing that you have for a person must be understood as truly, honestly, and truly being just a longing for home, which is a cosmic place, a home with the divine, with the spiritual. And you have to trust in that divine connection. That is your home. Your home is not in partnership. Partnership is fun, but it is not your home. Your home is in self, in alignment with the divine. I'm having trouble speaking right now. I feel like there's a lump in my throat. Butterfly spirit, transformation is beautiful, is also coming out with the Magician, which is the fairy godmother story from Cinderella, from the Tarot of the Divine. It's a French story. Let's look at Butterfly Spirit. This is the 11 card also, which I should mention. And joy and the beautiful lightness of being alive and creative in the world is the focus when Butterfly Spirit flutters before you. Your card is joy is the creator, and this is joy and the beautiful lightness of being alive and creative is the focus. Transformation is inevitable as you grow into your most beautiful, empowered self, right? With that Magician card right there. Indeed, you will go through some uncomfortable stages as you let go of the forms of your life that no longer fit the new you. Even relationships must go through shifts to match your new emerging self. If you focus on the beauty and not the challenges, stop taking yourself too seriously and choose to be playful, loving, and joyous, you will soon know the miracle your soul wants to experience through you. Today is a day for joy, so alight, look around, and see the beauty that is everywhere and in everyone, including you. It's a clear message. I don't need to go too much more into. And then just to follow up, see if there's anything from this Tarot of the Divine for us to take with us about the Magician energy. It says the Magician is a helping hand. She has the ability to change raw materials into something wonderful and dreaming into doing. But she is only the helping hand. It is up to the protagonist to use her support, moving forward to do the right thing. Originality, self-confidence, skill, a breakthrough, and resourcefulness are all coming up. So focus on that lighthearted, playful, transformative butterfly energy that's on that journey that you're on right now, which is transforming you into this powerful feminine energy and who is able to co-create with the divine. But you have to be showing up and doing that work and using all those tools you have. So you can't be sleeping on the job. Okay, let's go look at the oracles for Divine Masculine. Divine Masculine. You are in the shadow attributes right now of the teacher, which is manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. And you need to come into the light, which is the ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. It's interesting because this figure in this image is holding these two halves of the world apart, right? And we sort of anticipate that there is going to be this pushing of these two halves of the world together, but it's like she's opening up this world of information, right? That's the general energy coming from this image. And there are all these other smaller circles here that are apparently like the knowledge contained. And it's almost like this book is this world of information, right? It's such a great image. You're not revealing this information. You are withholding information in a manipulative way and abusing right now. By not communicating, you are actually abusing feminine energy. And you need to communicate with her and accept that position as a guiding energy instead of feeling this unworthiness that is causing you to need to feed your ego, because that's all about a manipulative teacher is an ego-based teacher. Your guardian angel is here with an emphasis about signs from above. You have maybe not been paying attention to the messages. You've not been listening to messages. You might not have been tuning into them. And you're receiving this strong communication to pay attention to the signs from above. Coming out also with the St. Christopher card in reverse. This is about travel, and it's in reverse. It might be an indication to you to not travel at this time, or that you're getting signs that are telling you not to move on and you're not listening to them, or your fears that someone else is going to move on. You're receiving signs about them not moving on and you're not receiving those messages. You're in a lot of fear right now, Divine Masculine. And you are safe and protected if you do travel, but you are being told at this time that you're sort of ignoring these signs from above about this journey that you're on. You're not following the signs. You're not seeing the way clearly because you're not listening to the messages. There is a stream of love supporting my dreams, and I am the loving energy of the universe are coming out right now. So it's interesting because this says there is a stream of love supporting my dreams, and then it says I am the loving energy of the universe. So this is you being called. You're failing to see Divine Masculine when you see Divine Feminine as the Star card, and she's this healing energy and she's this loving energy. You are seeing her as supporting your dreams. You are failing to understand that you are the love that supports your own dreams. You are the love that gives yourself opportunities to be able to do the things here that you want to do. Commitment is here. And again, this card is beautiful because we see this knot being tied by peace and freedom, like a dove and an eagle. It's also this airy energy, this like it's wisdom and thoughts about commitment. And I think Divine Masculine, that this card coming up after, what do I need to release coming out after this commitment? You need to just release these fears and anxieties regarding commitment. You are afraid to make commitments because you don't keep the commitments you make to yourself. And so you're afraid to make a commitment with anyone else. And you need to release the fears and anxieties regarding what it is that you so desire to do. Share your voice. Come out of the cave. You may receive persecution for the expression that you want to make right now. You may receive You may hear harsh words. Divine feminine is wounded. It's possible that you will. You may hurt others. You may wound others by your truths. But you can stay in this cave, watching, hiding as a hermit forever, or you can come out and face this music with gratitude and grace. Here's Turkey Spirit. Don't receive this card very often. And this says, give with gratitude and grace. And then we are getting the Two of Coins from the Tarot of the Divine, which is showing this distressed feminine holding a baby in one arm and this baby that has like this bear's head on the other, which for me is like finances, like juggling finances and family, or juggling a love interest, or a new love that you want to have, and financial stability, something about that. But let's go a little bit deeper into these messages. First, we're going to take a look at Turkey Spirit, which is 61. Turkey Spirit's message for you is that you always have the potential for manifesting a rich reality. For the turkey represents generosity and a celebration of abundance through giving to others. Give freely without expectation, and you shall receive. For the manifestation of abundance is happening right now. Align with it by sharing your good fortune with others, whether you give money, loving guidance, the gift of listening, or kindness in any form. Immerse yourself in the flow of generous abundance, being a channel for Turkey Spirit and the desire of Spirit to see all beings experience the blessing of plenty. Give with gratitude and grace from a wellspring of love and compassion, knowing that Spirit will respond by giving you all that you need in this moment and all moments to come. And then we're seeing here for this Two of Coins, this is Haida mythology from the Pacific Northwest. It's the story of Ripsunt. The Two of Coins represents the skill needed to balance opposing forces in life. For Ripsunt, the bear world and the human world collide. She embodies the dualities of work and family, hobbies and careers, and wants versus needs. When it's reversed, there is disorganization, a facade, overwhelm, overextending, and financial mess. To come out with giving freely, for me, there's a lot of fear that Divine Masculine has about the financial mess that he's leaving behind. He might be grasping, honestly, of his own abundance because of some of the feelings he has about the past energy that demanded some kind of abundance from him. It also is like about time, giving freely of time. It's like being focused on work so much that you're not focusing on your relationships, your connections. And that is what makes you ill. So you're being told to rebalance, refocus your energy, and prioritize relationships and connection, and give freely of your time and your abundance without begrudging any of it. What are you going to do with it? It's going to go away when you go away. So what are you holding on to it for? All right. Finally, the oracles that everyone is in union in regards to, we're getting the hedonist, which inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life and celebrates the beauty in yourself. So you're both really able to enjoy the pleasures of life right now, and just sort of, I think you also desire this too with one another. You just really want to be in the space where you can easily just enjoy the good things in life. The energy is ripe for this for you to finally be immersed in all of those pleasures you've been denying yourself for quite some time. St. Agnes of Rome is here. She's been here this week. Don't compromise. She's telling you, don't compromise what it is that you desire to have with one another. Don't compromise your integrity. Don't compromise with anyone. She will support you in being able to have this pleasure that you do seek. My fearless freedom lights up the world. You're getting this card again. This is 3 times this week, I think, for every single reading this came out. This is an emphasis on this freedom. The freedom that you have lights up the world, and the freedom that you have comes from that emotional mastery. Your happiness is in reverse. You're denying yourself these pleasures. That's why this hedonist energy is very good for you right now. You want to immerse yourself in this happiness. Don't deny yourself. The end of a tough cycle approaches, so take heart. That happiness you seek is on its way. You're also getting the protection card. Call back your power, cut the cords, and soul retrieval. So this is about those boundaries. It's about boundary setting, but it's about being too protective with one another, blocking each other. Look at the arms there. Not communicating. We're getting Turtle Spirit in reverse. And the 10 of Cups, which has not left my readings at all for the last 2 weeks. This is an intense energy of spiritual fulfillment we have making its way slowly and steadily. This Turtle Spirit card says slow and steady wins the race. This 62nd card, actually, we got the 61st card. So there's that progression that we're being told by the divine. Slow and steady progression from 60 to 61. And from 61 to 62. Pushing too hard or rushing to leave others in the dust is not the way of Turtle Spirit, even if it seems at times it is the way of the world. Turtle Spirit wants you to remember that you are a human being, not a human doing. In the protection position, Turtle Spirit is giving you the message that the best thing to do right now is let go of the drive to compete or control and do more. Instead, simply be. As an old Norse saying goes, we do without doing and everything gets done. Spirit conspires on your behalf, so slow to a crawl or even stop, releasing any fear that life is a race that you might be losing. Trust that peace, prosperity, love, and purpose are all yours to enjoy right now. Do not do, simply be. And then you're getting this 10 of Cups, which is literally peace, prosperity, love, and purpose that are all yours to enjoy right now. And we'll read a little bit more about this specific story that's on this image. Oh, it's a good one. I don't know where it is in the book. The cups, the cups, the cups, the cups. There we go. Julnar, the Seaborn, Persia, an Arabic folktale. The 10 of Cups represents true emotional and spiritual fulfillment. After many hard trials, Julnar finds a happy, loving husband and has a child. Her brother rises from the sea, which often represents the subconscious, to congratulate her and celebrate her newfound life. Harmony, reunions, security, domestic bliss, and found family. Slowly and steadily. Don't push it. Just let it happen. You don't need to push it. You don't need to control it. You don't need to withhold it. You don't need to force it. Just slowly and steadily make your way into this sacred spiritual fulfillment. Embrace it. It's here. On so many levels, we saw this fulfillment. All right, let's close out the reading. These fucking cars can't with it. with the energy that we need to do today, the things we need to do today, minor things, please, divine, minor things that will help us come in to union inside of self so that we don't murder the person that is rudely honking their car. Oh my God, Jesus Christ, Almighty God, Heavenly Father, Creator of heaven and earth, of all that is seen and unseen. Wow. Ah, God, stop honking. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, subscribe, share, click on the links. You can send me decks, like I said, down there in the description box below. That will help me move out of this apartment so I don't have to hear a person honking their horn like an asshole. It'd be so great. And then there's a pearlsprayers.com is where you can find places to book me for personal readings, coaching sessions. My music is there. Pearl and the Prayers. I just came out with a single at the end of July. It's pretty great. It's a disco track. Check it out. It's me, babe. I produced it myself. And I'm pretty good at doing shit like that. Okay. And finally, you can see me on Sunday and you can ask me questions and we'll pull cards for you with Grace Strega on Instagram Live around 12 noon apparently, Pacific Coast time, and 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Divine Feminine, what do you need to do today to come into alignment, completely release, and rebuild? Okay. You need to do the following things. We've got kisses, unconditionally loving, giving and receiving affection, falling in love. We've got addiction in reverse, which we already got that devil card today. Codependent, obsession, possession, controlling, has a blank and restraint. And you are getting heartbreak also in reverse, which is deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, and mourning. You are also getting the lilies. And you are getting key. And it is King of Swords again. And the, I can do math, 8 of Swords again. Jesus Christ. Okay. Divine Feminine. Do you love Divine Masculine energy unconditionally? Do you? Do you send Divine Masculine messages of unconditional love without any expectation of a return? Good. Okay, cool. Keep doing that if you answered yes to those questions. Because unconditional love means Divine Masculine gets to go and be and do anything he wants to do. He's the prodigal son. He can run off. He can have third-party energy up the wazoo. He can have it up the wazoo if he likes. Whatever floats Divine Masculine's boat. Literally anything. Murdering people. I mean, he literally can do anything, and you unconditionally have to love him. Like God unconditionally loves every single being, even the serial killers. My Venus in Virgo appreciates serial killers. I don't know why that's a weird thing for Virgo energy, but you have to have unconditional love. Now, I hope Divine Masculine is not murdering anybody. And having unconditional love for a murderer does not mean you go get married to them while they're in prison. You let them do their time for their crimes, and you send them unconditional love and affection. But you don't have to be pulled down into their crazy, fucked up world. But everything you're doing, you're just doing it for that masculine energy. And then this is just exactly what your reading said. Release the devil, release that addiction, release the codependence, the obsession, and be positive. Be optimistic. If you're seeking constantly for information, if you're like, oh, what's Divine Masculine doing? Is he reciprocating? Is he giving back what I put in? Is he giving the same amount of nurturing, care, and loving attention that I'm giving? Because if he's not, then clearly that must mean that he doesn't love me. That's your insecurity. That's your needing something for something. Do you need something for something, or do you really just love this person? Really, just admittedly. Can't stop. Don't know why. Drives you crazy. Makes you want to poke yourself in the eyes. God, why do I keep loving this person? Just love them. But love yourself first. Love yourself first. That is the key. That is why you're getting a reiteration of that King of Swords, which was how to soothe yourself. Be much more in command of your emotions, conquering them. Be much more in your clarity. Be truthful. Be direct. Be what you want to see. Protect yourself with healthy boundaries. Don't block somebody. That's not a healthy boundary. Oh, it can be. But if you're wanting to communicate with somebody and you're blocking them, you're not being honest about what you want. You've got one train going this way and one train car going this way, and the train's not moving, right? If you're blocking somebody because they're abusing you, that's healthy. That's a healthy boundary. But when you want to start to mend and heal the wounds with someone, you have to open up to them. So you have to communicate. You have to be direct. And then this is about something pure and something with a lot of history, like a past life connection. And this is that heart with the key kind of an energy. So the key to your success is really just believing in that strength, that long-held connection, and the power that your boundaries that you have set that are healthy will insist upon a masculine energy that shows up in that King of Swords. So that's your final messages, Divine Feminine. For Divine Masculine, okay, you're getting engagement ring, which says partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, and union. You already got what will make you feel confident. 3 of Cups, union. And you got the commitment card in your oracles, and you're getting this engagement ring. And then you're getting healthy choices in reverse, which says making healthy choices in love and life, self-love, self-care, and being happier. And then you are getting the 7 of Cups in reverse, which is about making healthy choices. And you are getting the Queen of Swords upright, which is countering Divine Feminine's King of Swords for today. So, Divine Masculine, you've been avoiding commitment, which has not been a healthy choice for you. Today, you're being called upon to embrace this commitment, this completion, and this union. Give yourself this love and self-care. Allow yourself to be happier. Before you were kind of selfishly withholding this connection. You had other options that you were engaging with, but you have released those unhealthy choices, and you are being much more strategic, much more clear thinking, and you're establishing, I think, healthy boundaries with past commitments that you've had. And you have to just face these anxieties regarding this Queen of Swords. She's not in reverse here. She's upright here. And Divine Feminine has heard today that she needs to release any sort of defensive, cutting energy from this Queen of Swords for you to be able to offer her this commitment. But it is these choices, these unhealthy choices that you've made about other options that have caused her to become less approachable. And you just need to be fully transparent about them and bring clarity to her about them in order to be able to experience this union that you desire. Bottom of the deck for you both is the 4 of Pentacles in reverse, the Grim Reaper, which says the relationship is over, no second chances, grow and transform your life, and the Tower or the 6 of Swords. Okay, so you have to release your fantasies that there is no second chance for this relationship and that there is nothing here, no solid foundation, and it's something that needs to be moved on from. This is this runner-chaser energy that you both engage in. You have to release this fear. This is a fantasy. There is nothing over here. The only thing that has ended are the effects of these past tower moments. The only movement that is happening is towards union, towards an uncertain shore, which is very frightening. But just embrace that. Release the fantasies and fears about the end of this union and embrace it today. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope that you do have a really lovely day today. I'm going to enjoy the rest of it and hopefully be a bit more productive than I have been. But you know what? There are times when you just need to rest. My cards have told me, though, that today is not that day. I do hope I take that advice. Thank you very, 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 very much for supporting me in all the ways that you do. I am moving into a less stable financial period at this point in time that I am currently seeking to stabilize. And it is happening slowly and steadily, but it is hard to see. And I want to be able to continue to do these readings for you all the time. So please, if you haven't done so before, go to pearlsprayers.com, click support, and help me provide these free readings for you every day, which I do enjoy doing. Thank you so much. Have a great one.